You are visiting. Welcome to the San Pedro Cementerio Museum, a private institution founded on the 22nd of September 1842, recognized as a site museum in 1998 and declared a property of National Cultural Heritage in 1999 by the Colombian Ministry of Culture. The San Pedro Cementerio Museum is a non-profit foundation that assists families in moments of grief in the face of the death of a loved one, offering funeral services of burial, exhumation, cremation, chapel service and assignment of rights over the use of property, providing a dignified dwelling for the deceased in an historic, artistic and heritage site of the city of Medellin. It also develops educational and cultural activities typical of a museum. Aware of the significance and transcendence of preserving the history of the city and its inhabitants, the Cemetery Museum is established as a place of comprehensive and inclusive memory, which houses many stories, tales and deceased who have been part of the economic, social, political and cultural life of Medellin, of the Antiochian region and the whole nation. The San Pedro Cemetery Museum defines its collection as a set of forms of representation of death and its transformation over time. The nature of the collection and its condition, particularity and attributes is understood from the minimum unit of meaning of the piece, the necromancy, which refers to the indivisible whole formed by the deceased and his tomb. From the expressions and symbols in each of these units or tombs, we can understand the uniqueness of each piece and the type of collection. The condition of the cemetery in use and museum make the space a single institution that complements and articulates. The cemetery is part of the museum and vice versa. The cemetery welcomes and gives abode to the dead, and the museum researches, preserves and disseminates aesthetic manifestations, architecture and ritual practices. We visit family and friends to feel their presence, promote meetings, conversations, company and strengthen affections. We also visit the city of the dead to re-establish links and evoke their legacies, visible in stories and teachings. We invite you to pass the threshold and experience other ways of looking, listening, feeling and living this funerary space. Continue your visit and move to the next station. Un cementerio para Medellin, a cemetery for Medellin, that you will find by accessing the central corridor in the direction of the chapel, until you find Mausoleum 101, and behind you will see the next station.